In the beginning, the world was a vastly different place, full of promise and potential, where the air was sweet with the scent of blooming flowers and the sound of birds filled the air. It was a time when humanity was still in its infancy, and the relationship between God and man was still being defined. The story of the first two brothers, Cain and Abel, is one that has been passed down for generations, a testament to the enduring power of faith and the devastating consequences of jealousy and pride. The Bible tells us that Adam and Eve, the first humans created by God, had two sons, Cain and Abel. Cain, the elder of the two, was a farmer, tilling the soil and growing crops to sustain his family. Abel, on the other hand, was a shepherd, tending to the flocks of sheep and goats that roamed the land. Both brothers were devoted to their work, and both sought to please God with their offerings. But as time went on, a sense of rivalry began to grow between them, a feeling that would ultimately lead to tragedy. The day of the first sacrifice had arrived, and both Cain and Abel prepared their offerings to present to God. Cain, proud of his accomplishments as a farmer, brought forth the finest fruits of his labor, the best of his crops. Abel, humbled by his role as a shepherd, brought forth the firstborn of his flock, the fattest and most perfect of his sheep. The brothers stood before God, awaiting his judgment, eager to see whose offering would be accepted. And then, in a moment that would change the course of history, God looked upon the offerings and saw that Abel's was pleasing in his sight. But Cain's offering, though bountiful and plentiful, was not accepted by God. The reason for this is not explicitly stated, but it is implied that Cain's heart was not in the right place, that his offering was motivated by pride and a desire for recognition rather than a genuine desire to please God. This rejection by God sparked a fire of jealousy and anger within Cain, a feeling that would soon consume him. He began to resent his brother, to feel that Abel was somehow superior, that God loved him more. And as this resentment grew, so did the darkness in Cain's heart. As the days passed, Cain's anger and jealousy continued to simmer, until finally, it boiled over into action. One day, while the two brothers were out in the field, Cain turned to Abel and struck him down, killing him in a fit of rage. The first murder had been committed, the first fratricide, and the world would never be the same again. The sound of Abel's blood crying out to God from the ground is a haunting and powerful image, a reminder of the devastating consequences of sin and the importance of seeking forgiveness and redemption. The aftermath of the murder was one of chaos and confusion. God, seeing what had been done, came to Cain and asked him where his brother was. Cain, still consumed by his anger and jealousy, responded with a question of his own, asking God if he was his brother's keeper. This response, both flippant and arrogant, only served to further anger God, who saw the depths of Cain's depravity and the darkness of his heart. And so, God pronounced a curse upon Cain, condemning him to a life of wandering, a fugitive and a vagabond, forced to flee from the face of God and from the presence of his family. The story of Cain and Abel is one that has been interpreted and reinterpreted over the centuries, a reminder of the dangers of jealousy and pride and the importance of seeking forgiveness and redemption. It is a story that speaks to the very heart of human nature, a nature that is capable of both great good and great evil. And it is a reminder that our actions have consequences, that the choices we make can have far-reaching and devastating effects. As we reflect on this story, we are forced to confront our own darker impulses, our own tendencies towards jealousy and pride, and to seek forgiveness and redemption for our own sins. The story of Cain and Abel also raises important questions about the nature of God and the role of faith in our lives. Why did God accept Abel's offering and reject Cain's? What does this say about the character of God and the way he relates to humanity? These are questions that have puzzled scholars and theologians for centuries, and ones that continue to be debated and discussed today. And yet, despite the complexity and nuance of these questions, the story of Cain and Abel remains a powerful and enduring testament to the power of faith and the importance of seeking a relationship with God. As we consider the story of Cain and Abel, we are reminded of the importance of living a life of faith, of seeking to please God and to follow His will. And we are reminded of the need for forgiveness and redemption, of the importance of seeking to make things right when we have gone wrong. These are lessons that are just as relevant today as they were in the time of Cain and Abel, and ones that continue to speak to us on a deep and profound level. In the end, the story of Cain and Abel is one that challenges us to examine our own hearts, to consider our own motivations and desires. It is a story that reminds us of the power of faith and the importance of seeking a relationship with God. And it is a story that encourages us to seek forgiveness and redemption, to make things right when we have gone wrong. The story of Cain and Abel is a powerful reminder of the enduring power of faith and the devastating consequences of sin. It is a story that has been passed down for generations, a testament to the human condition and the importance of seeking a relationship with God. And it is a story that continues to speak to us today, a reminder of the dangers of jealousy and pride, and the importance of seeking forgiveness and redemption. As we consider this story, we are encouraged to examine our own hearts, to consider our own motivations and desires, and to seek to live a life that is pleasing to God. As we come to the end of this story, we are left with a sense of awe and wonder at the power of faith and the devastating consequences of sin. We are reminded of the importance of seeking forgiveness and redemption, and of living a life that is pleasing to God. And we are encouraged to reflect on our own lives, to consider our own motivations and desires, and to seek to make things right when we have gone wrong. If you have been touched by this story, if you have been challenged to examine your own heart and to seek a relationship with God, then we encourage you to like and subscribe to our channel, to join our community of faith, and to continue to explore the power of spirituality and faith. And if you have any thoughts or questions, please leave them in the comments below. We would love to hear from you and to continue the conversation. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you and keep you.